Hi everyone, this is Julie from Totally Holistic Health. It's good to have you here, and today we're going to do a really nice practice. I won't say gentle, but we're going to be talking about, or what I've been covering in the last few weeks in my classes, is really sort of taking that time out to really own your own power and own your own practice. Although going to a yoga class is brilliant, it really helps you. It helps with that community. It helps with getting out, but also having that time to yourself. Sometimes I get people to come to a class who sort of, obviously if they're new or they're sort of like, quite new to yoga generally, they sort of tend to sort of think, I'm not able to do that. And I'm the same as well. Sometimes I go to a class and think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to do any of this. But the main thing is just to listen to what your body's telling you. I mean, obviously when I'm teaching, obviously I look at the safety aspect. I make sure that everyone's safe in what they're doing, and obviously we try to make sure that it's a really, really all-encompassing practice. But at the end of the day, I'm not you. I can't judge whether or not something's hurting you or not, and everybody has different body geometries. Everybody has maybe different ailments, like knees or ankles or backs or shoulders or whatever. But the main thing is just having that trust in your body that it can actually do or achieve all these things. But sometimes obviously you do need to just allow yourself just to that time to actually develop that practice. Sometimes you can't do things straight away, which is absolutely fine, and if you could, then you wouldn't really need someone like a yoga teacher. But the really thing is, it's just sort of not being not being sort of downhearted in it, not being sort of negative about yourself, just really sort of thinking, okay, well, this time I'm not going to be able to do that. But, the more you develop, the more you practice, it is called a yoga practice after all, then you will actually be able to sort of like, see your practice develop. And, you can be really creative with yoga. It doesn't have to be sort of set in stone that your hands have to be here or your feet have to be here. You can really have a good play around with it as well. So, the good thing is just have fun. Just really notice how you're feeling in your body as well. Just maybe when you're in a particular position, say, like maybe I'll just move my leg this side or just move my arms, and you might find you actually go into a more comfortable position that way. So again, don't be so set in stone about where things need to be. As long as you're safe and things aren't going to cause any harm or things aren't hurting, then obviously you're in a good place. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. I mean, I wish I was one of those yoga teachers or those people that can just sort of step through and do all these mad and wonderful things. But again, my body is getting old. It's not gonna happen. But I keep trying, and that's the main thing anyway. So first of all, we're going to start off just on cross-legged. So we're just going to take a few moments just to check into how we're actually feeling. And I feel this is a really important part of a yoga practice because it just allows you to maybe set an intention, what you actually want to achieve. But also it's really nice just to maybe sort of like, shut that time off. So, basically whatever's happened before your practice or what's happening after, just allow that to just sink away, really focus on yourself for the next few moments. So it's nice just to focus on that breath. Just allow yourself to become still. With any practice, it's like, you might find that, you need to come out of that a little bit quicker, but sometimes it's just taking that time just to think, okay, I'm actually quite happy staying here for a little bit longer, and then just maybe pausing the video and then just staying there until you feel ready to move on. Again, sometimes sometimes you just need that little bit of extra space just to really, really chill down and go, right, okay, I'm really grounded. I'm going to take that time out for myself. So again, if you do feel you need to pause it, that's absolutely fine. But when you're ready, we're going to bring the fingertips onto the side next to us. So again, just making sure those shoulders are down the back. Now, if you do find that your knees are quite high up, you might find just popping a blanket underneath your bottom just to raise your bottom up a little bit will probably be a little bit more comfortable. So draw the shoulders down, away from the ears. Okay, so we're going to place the right hand onto the floor next to us. So try to make sure that that elbow crease is facing upwards. And then with the left hand, we're going to keep that onto that left hip, or if you can, maybe just bringing it behind you again, just depending on how your rotators, your shoulders are feeling, whether you want to rotate a little bit. But the idea is the shoulders are going to be very square onto the body, so we're not dropping that shoulder forward. So we're going to just lower that right elbow down towards the floor. Now what you try and want to do is actually push away with that bottom hand. So you're really pushing both your bum cheeks back onto the floor again. So rather than tilting, we're just going to push down with that bottom hand and just allow the elbow just to sink down towards the floor, and you probably find a lovely stretch in that side waist. So again, just really noticing how that feels, noticing if it's pinching on this lower side or into the back at all, but just just adjusting yourself so it feels okay. And if that does feel alright, if you want to, just bringing that left arm overhead, and again just enjoying that extra stretch on the left side of the body. And then slowly releasing that left hand back onto the floor and allowing yourself to settle. So we're going to change the cross of our legs now. So the legs in front, we're going to bring behind. So again, it should feel a little bit strange. And again, if you do need to change the blocks or anything underneath your bottom, that's fine if you have got blocks there or blankets. So we're going to bring the left hand onto the floor now. So again, making sure the elbow crease is facing upwards. So it just feels a bit weird rotating it around a little bit, but I'll let it play. Right hand onto that right hip, or if you want to, just bring it round the back, just to rotate that shoulder so it's nice and open. So now we're going to just lower that left elbow down towards the floor, again pushing away with that bottom hand, so really making sure that you're nice and level with the hips, so you're not tilting at all, just staying nice and straight. And again, just allows this lovely stretch in the right side of the body. Be mindful of that back. If it starts to hurt in your back or anywhere else, just easing off a little bit. Again, depending on what time of day you're doing it, if you're doing it in the middle of the day or the morning, you might be slightly tighter than you are later on. Again, if your shoulders do allow, they're not too sore, bring them overhead, that right arm, and just increasing that stretch in the right side of the body. If you've got any issues with the shoulders, just keep the arms down. And then bringing that top arm back down to the floor. Okay, so we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So again, if you are on a blanket, you might want to stay there, or you might want to come onto the floor. It's up to you. Again, this is your practice. So in terms of the distance your feet come away from the body, again, you can just do it where it naturally occurs. This will be actually give a nice big stretch on the inside of the thigh. So if you don't want to increase that stretch without hurting yourself, you can bring the feet slightly further in. But again, if that's too sore or too tight, just bring them further away. And again, just trying to imagine you've got a lovely thread out the top of the head. So just drawing the head over the heart, so you're not slouching, you're nice and upright. And we're going to bring the fingers into an interlock behind the back. So try to have the palms facing upwards. We're drawing the hands down towards the bottom, so the shoulder blades will automatically come together. So try to imagine you've got a little pencil between your shoulder blades you're trying to hold on to. So opening up that chest. And then we're going to bring the chest forward. And again, it doesn't matter how far forward you come. Try to keep that chest nice and open, so don't curl down at all. Try to keep the chest open and the shoulder blades back. And again, you might find you can only come a short way. But again, it's just trying to practice, just allowing yourself to come forward, using that breath. And then slowly releasing back up. Now we're going to bring the hands behind us. And again, depending on how your shoulders are, you might find fingers towards your bottom would be okay, or away, or either side. Again, use what feels right for you. So again, we're bringing the shoulder blades together, bringing the chest up towards the sky. And again, try to keep the head in line with the spine, so don't bring the head right back again, because your head's very heavy and it will hurt the neck if you overstretch it too much. Try to keep it in line. Again, really enjoying that lovely openness of the chest and of the hips. And then coming back to centre. So we're going to bring this right leg behind us. So keeping the left leg So it's just parallel with that front of that mat. So you've got a nice straddle. So we're going to just twist it to the left. So just bringing the right hand onto the left knee, really nice open twist round to the left. It's nice and mobilising for the spine. And coming back to centre. So we're going to change the cross of the leg and change the straddle. So bring the right leg, so it's nice and parallel with the front of the mat. Bring the left leg behind. Again, we're going to twist round to the right. So left hand onto the outside of the left knee, or the right knee, or you can bring the fingertips onto the floor. And just twisting round. And twisting is really, really good for the digestion, but obviously if you've got issues with your spine, just be really careful of that lower back. Although most of the time the chest is actually coming round, the lower back is actually reasonably stationary, so it's more of an upper body twist. But if the back starts to hurt, just ease up a little bit. And then slowly coming back to centre. So we're going to come to all fours. So try to make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. It's also really important as well, so rather than just sinking into the shoulders, most people tend to sort of sit like this or stand or have all fours like this, but try to really push away from the floor. So again, you're really building strength in those arms into the shoulders. And if you can, just rotate the elbow creases so they're facing each other. Because if you've got issues with hypermobile elbows, you can really hurt yourself if you have your elbows facing forward, because they tend to push a little bit the wrong way, which is very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to just reach back with the right foot. So try and keep the right foot on the floor, pushing back with that heel, so we've got a lovely stretch on the back of that right leg. Can't speak today. And then we're going to raise that right leg up. So try to make sure that your hips are level, so you're not rotating at all. And again, you might find you need to engage that core a little bit to give you a bit of extra strength. And again, to keep the breath nice and steady. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to bend that right knee and bring the right knee in to that right elbow. And then push back. Bending the right knee and bringing it into the left elbow. So you're bringing it across underneath the body. So engaging the core a little bit just to pull up the belly. And then pushing it back. And I'm going to bring that right leg through between the hands and bring the foot between the hands. Okay, now it's up to you. You can keep your legs like this, but if you want to increase that stretch on the left leg, just slide it back a little bit. So you've got a nice hip flexor stretch there. Ideally this leg should be nice right angles to that floor. If you find that knee is coming through a little bit too far, just make sure that foot comes forward. Again, that's really bad on the knees. Okay, so the back leg, the left knee can stay on the ground, or you can also curl that toe under and bring the knee off the floor, so more into a runner's lunge. But again, it really depends on the time of day and how you're feeling. If it feels a bit too strong, just bring that knee back down. So we're going to be nice and strong in those hips, bringing the hands off the floor, coming into Anjali Mudra with the hands. And try and keep the feet nice and strong on the floor to give you a little bit of extra balance. Now I'm going to hook the right elbow onto the inside of that right knee, twist round to the left. Back to centre, bring the hands back on the floor. Also, if you find that your hands aren't quite long enough and you feel that you're not quite long enough to actually touch the floor, you can just bring the hands on the inside of the feet as well. So what we're going to do now, we're going to just walk back with those hands, straightening that front leg. So the right leg now straight. If you need to put a little bit of a bend in, if it's too strong on the hamstring, that's also fine as well. So again, just be really mindful of how that feels in that hamstring. Keep a nice flat back, and we're just going to bring the toes up towards the ceiling. And again, you've got a lovely stretch on the back of the leg there, so really, really nice stretch all the way up the fascia, the back of the leg. And then maybe pointing the toe, and then flexing it again. Brilliant. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move that right leg out a little bit to the right of the mat. Bring the hands behind the back, drawing the fingertips down towards your bottom. Okay, so now you can either stay up here, or you can just see if you can bring the chest forward. Now the legs do need to be really strong here, just to keep with that balance. It's actually harder than it looks. If you need to bend that leg a little bit, you can, don't forget. So really pushing down with that left foot, keeping nice and strong with the right, and then slowly coming back up. And then we're going to move the right foot back into the middle of the mat, bringing the hands forward either side of that foot, or again if your arm's too short from the inside. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to bring that front foot now to join the back onto all fours. We're doing the same on the left side. Stretching back with that left foot. Again, just enjoying that lovely stretch on the left side of the body. Raising the left leg up. So again, making sure those hips are parallel, so you're not rotating at all. And again, really engaging the core now. We're going to bring that left knee in towards the left elbow. And then stretching it back. Engaging the core again, bringing the left knee in towards the right elbow. So really pulling the belly back to the spine to bring that knee through. And then stretching it back. Now we're going to bring that left leg now between the hands. So again, making sure that you're nice and right angles here. You're not bringing that knee forward. Keeping it on this side of your ankle, sliding the right leg back again if that suits you, if you want a bit of a stretch on that hip flexor there. And again, if you want to curl those toes under and come into a nice low lunge, you can, but again, it really depends on how you're feeling. So we're going to make sure we're nice and strong in the legs, coming up into that lovely Anjali Mudra, heart center, a nice low lunge or the runner's lunge. And then we're going to rotate round to the right. So bring the left elbow onto the inside of that left leg. Rotate round to the right. And again, the most thing really is just make sure the legs are nice and strong, keeping the breath really steady. Bring the hands back either side of that front leg. And then we're going to walk the hands back, straighten the front leg. So again, flexing the foot up towards the ceiling, get that lovely stretch on the back of the leg, and then maybe pointing the toe and flexing. So we're going to move that left leg over to the outside of the left side of the mat, really strong in the right leg, and we're going to let go, bring the hands into an interlock behind the back, drawing the chest forward. And don't forget, you can stay up if you want to, or you can bend that knee if you need to. Again, you might find you're stronger or easier on one side than it is on the other, which is absolutely fine. And slowly coming back up, moving that left leg into the middle of the mat, bringing the hands either side. So we're going to bring that front leg back to join the back. Brilliant. So if you do need to rest your elbows and to rest your wrists a little bit, again, just doing some nice circles, again, just being a little bit kind, just noticing how that feels. If you just need to have a little bit of a break, again, that's fine. Or you can just come into the next action. So making sure that the hands are nice and strong. I'm going to curl the toes under and then come into that downward dog. And again, once you're here, just pedaling those feet out. Really enjoying the stretch on the back of the body. Okay, so we're going to just place that left foot into the floor, bringing the right leg into the air, into that three-legged dog. Then we're going to bring the weight into the hands, bringing the right knee in towards the right elbow. Pushing back into that downward dog. Just bring the weight into the hands, bringing the right knee into the left elbow, so bring it across the body. And the weight in the hands, and then pushing back, and lowering the foot, just pedaling that out. Placing the right foot into the floor, the left leg into the air. Oops. Flashing the belly there. Not good. Okay. Left leg into the air, so bring the weight into the hands, bending the left leg, bringing it into the left elbow. Push it back. Bending the left leg, bringing it into the right elbow. Push it back. And then lowering both the feet, just pedaling the feet out. And then bring the weight fully into the hands now into the plank. Pushing back with the heels. Now if this is too strong, you can bring the knees down. And then bringing those knees down now, lowering yourself down onto the floor. Taking a couple of moments just to rest the forehead onto the forearms. I'm going to reach back with the right hand and grab hold of the right foot. And just draw it down towards the bottom. And releasing the right foot. Placing the head on the right forearm, reaching back with the left. Grabbing hold of the left foot. Again, drawing it down towards the bottom. And then we're going to reach back with the right as well. So again, you can just stay here if you want to. Again, it's a nice stretch on the quads. But if you're feeling okay, bringing the shoulder blades together, really opening up the chest, and just see if you can push back with the feet. That raises the top half of the body up. And again, it's a lovely stretch in the whole front body. You can keep the breath steady still, don't hold the breath. And then gently releasing down. We're going to bring the hands either side of the chest and just push back into a lovely pose of a child. So again, knees can be nice and wide or together, depending on how you're feeling. And just allow the chest to come forward and resting onto the floor. Again, with your hands, you can do what you like. You can make it a little bit more active by bringing the palms forward. You can just rest them by your side if you're feeling more of a passive yoga practice at the end. Again, this is a really nice rejuvenating pose. It's quite nice just to spend a few moments here. And slowly we're going to come up to sitting. Brilliant. So just taking a few moments now at the end of that practice just to really check into the body. It's really important. Normally we do something like Shavasana now again, which is really nice. Just laying on the floor, just allowing everything just to settle. And it probably is one of the hardest poses to do because most people tend to find, again, they want to rush out of it into doing something else. But just leaving that couple of moments to just allow things just to be and just allow things to settle and integrate into the body. Again, it's really important. So if you do have time to rest out, just laying on the floor, just allowing your arms and your legs to just to sort of like relax on the floor again, just to take those few moments out. If you haven't, we're just going to take a couple of breaths here. And again, just notice sort of where the shoulders are, where the back is, if there's any tension still in the body, but also using the breath just to try to release. Feel a little bit more empowered after today's practice. The main thing really is just to remember, you're not going to get it first time, or if you do, that's absolutely brilliant. But the main thing is really don't beat yourself up about it. Really just notice, okay, well I need to build strength in my arms, or I need to engage the core more, or I need to do certain things. But again, just having a play around with it to make it more comfortable for you. But if it hurts, the main thing is just pull back. But the main thing is you actually have fun with it and really enjoy how it makes you feel. So until next time, namaste. I will see you soon. Bye bye.